Try not to fall, try not to lose any hope that the dawn might bring. Losing faith in me and everything I do, but now we'll be okay. We're alright, and we're
Hello everybody on the live stream, how are you doing today? Mineski versus MVP is the game we are doing. We'll begin in roughly 60 seconds. I say roughly, all the players are in the game. They have been for 20 minutes. But we've been waiting for the official start time before we kick this one off. And before we do so as well, I'm going to double check I got my right cable plugged in. Scant. Talk. And that'll be a no! Luckily, here's a cable I prepared earlier. All I gotta do is hit that thing and hi, Scant!
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Way! Yeah, I can. Let me just turn you down a little bit. Try again.
Testing. Hello.
Wonderful.
I am alive.
Let me just actually pop that button and we'll do that instead. Cool! Alright, so yeah, it's me and Scan today. We've got a 2-game series. A lot on the line. A hell of a lot on the line, but we'll tell you about that in a moment because the game's about to begin. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be kicking off in just a moment.
E-Gaming Bets. We accept bets on computer games online since 2011. Referral system for regular users and the first deposit bonus. Gaming devices store and the best choice of payment systems. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, Counter-Strike and StarCraft, World of Tanks and League of Legends. EGB.com. You know for sure who's going to win.
Hello everyone and welcome to DotaPit Season 4 by G2A. I'm W1, I'm your host for the English live stream. Today I am joined by the wonderful, the knowledgeable Scant, also the accentable Scant. How you doing today, man?
The accent. I'm doing alright. I'm so happy that MVP Phoenix first banned Vengeful Spirits, because I've been watching a lot of SEA Dota recently and it's something I wanted to talk about and they just gave me an opportunity. This hero has become like the Southeast Asia pick. Every game you watch, you'll see a early Vengeful Spirits. It's usually carry actually, but sometimes support. And here they just ban it. They're just like, I mean, Mineski just played a best of 3 right before this, and in all 3 games they're pretty much first or second pick Venge. So why not just get it out of the way?
It's kind of funny because I noticed more European teams during WCA, where they ran the VS as the core. I know. I think Avors actually had 2 games on the VS core over everything else you could pick. They went into that, but yeah, man, this hero it's messing up the drafts because you could pick it up so early as both support as well as core, so it messes up everything.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I gotta tell you, I've been spamming this hero in ranked in the last couple of days, and I got only wins. I've pretty much got like, I think I gained 300 MMR playing Vengeful Spirits every game, and that's to support Vengeful Spirits.
So the new thing is the cheap VS pickers. You're just all disgusting. Yep. You're all disgusting people.
That's me.
Almost as disgusting as MVP's first draft. So, Alliance win WCA. One of the biggest picks they had was the Bristleback and the Keeper of the Light. This was, like, so high up there. And I know Blitz and I were talking about this on the stream, talking about just how Bristleback always had that problem where he never had enough mana. So he had to build into mana-style items to actually become useful, and now with the buff-ups to Vanguard, and then the inclusion of Keeper of the Light, he's become stronger as a tank, and has all of his mana problems solved by the fact that Keeper of the Light's actually so much more of a great pick, because we're into the split push meta, which has started to evolve over the past 6-7 days, and what a great first pair. Like, you can even run the Bristleback core, or you can run him as a 1 position or a 3 position. It's such a flexible first 2. I love it. Yeah,
the combo's always been great, and as you say, it's just each of their heroes individually have been justified further now. Bristleback also a hero that MVP in particular really liked to run. The old version of the team when March used to be playing still, he would play in the offlane all the time back then. So definitely the team has experience playing around the hero. Something I want to say, going back to WCA, but more focused on the teams than the heroes, is MVP Phoenix is a team that I felt recently in the last month or so have really shown promise, like the team that made the top 8 at the International. And they didn't do that well at WCA, but look at who they lost to. They lost against Liquid and Alliance, who came first and third. They actually 2-0'd DC, which, I mean, DC is not like by any means a weak team. DC were taking games of the other teams, so Mineski, while people are like, this is the best team in Southeast Asia, whatever, I actually think MVP Phoenix coming to this as the favorites. I think they've looked really solid in form recently. I mean, they are currently at the top of the group standings coming into this match, so yeah, suitable to say, I think they.
Let's have a quick look at that too, because right now, for those who want to understand the importance of this match, if Mineski don't 2-0 in this game, they must take both games with MVP Phoenix to get the 3 points they require. Currently, we have a 3-way tie for second position. Now, second position means jackal. First position is all that really counts, because that's what will take you to the LAN finals of DotaPit, and there's only 1 slot open for Southeast Asia, currently held by MVP. So, MVP, this is the last game of the Southeast Asian qualifier. If they win 1 game out of these 2, they will go to the LAN finals. If they don't, then Team Mineski will take their place. That is what's up.
MVP's draft. It's like, I mean, we spoke about the Quetzal and the Bristleback, but now there's a Kunka and a Pack. Like, what? Are they just trying to pick heroes that like people don't usually pick? Is that?
Hey man, S4 played like 5 pucks. Maybe even 6.
It's 5 seconds. It's coming back. It's coming back. But the Kunka, I mean, this is a hero that like buffs into this patch. Like, maybe you'd think that it would come back. There's that potential for the Aghanims upgrade now. There's also the fact that I think it's not insignificant that you can turn off your Tidebringer. So if this hero is being picked as a core, that's a problem that core Kunka's always had in lane stage, that you're forced to either push the lane or not farm. And that doesn't have to be a problem anymore. But it could also be that support Kunka. And just combining with You can imagine the shenanigans with recall with Quetzal, like recalling someone with the X on them, just quickly do something over here, go back. Suddenly your whole team's Ember Spirit.
Well, it was the old strat, like where you TP back, except with the Keeper's Light Aghanim Scepter, it's not as great. But yeah, you could use the X marks spot, TP someone back, and then just drag them back out with the X marks spot. So you could always have that higher regeneration. Puck can actually Actually, no, he can't do that with Illusionary Orb. But yeah, still. The Conker pickup, it's... Like, so they run this as a 1 position with the Bristleback off lane with the Keeper of the Light? Like, is that...
I'm not sure.
It kind of
definitely before this patch, this hero was only picked as support in the previous patch, and very rarely at that. But I also do feel like it maybe has... maybe the room for Kunkka as a core is coming back into the game, and that's why I suspect it might be.
I'd be a little concerned running him as a core, because I don't know if he'll be tanky enough to survive the attack from Mineski. Mineski have a lot of negative armor as well as burst damage. This is something where the Conqueror is just going to get shredded apart. And it looks like they're going to run a Morphling pickup. Oh my, we really are splitting this one, aren't we? This is split push with potential catch. If Mineski have one hero that can really push down the buildings, and I mean directly to the buildings, like this has to be a building clearer, MVP Phoenix could be losing this map control very, very early on.
I mean, looking at it from a different angle as well, MVP Phoenix actually a team that almost always tries to win the game by fighting. So I don't know, but they might be shifting away from that right now, like after watching the Alliance at WCA. But what I'm seeing in MVP Phoenix's draft is a bunch of heroes that are very difficult to kill. You got the Bristleback, you got the Pack, you got the Morphling, and then Quetzal spamming the blinding lights and Kunkka throwing the ships. So like, how do you kill these heroes when it comes to a fight? Well, Mineski's answer is, as you said, minus armor, burst damage from Quap. It's going to be interesting, and with top SEA teams, when they go head to head, you pretty much never see, I mean, people have talked about Chinese style, European style, whatever. I guarantee you, top SEA teams, you don't see like a low kill game. It just never happens. They're going to be fighting each other, and whichever team loses the fight is going to want to win their way back in with more fights. I think we're going to see that kind of action, and I think that there's real potential here for either of the teams to get a bit out of control if they take a few fights in a row early on.
I'm wondering if that action, though, is what MVP require. Because MVP, yeah, they're a team which loves to attack. We've seen this to a point where they continue to attack even after the game is lost, because they think the only way they could potentially win is getting a pick here or there. But a lineup like this requires for a level of patience. Like you need to be able to split push it out, wait for the right time to gank, and then you attack. I'm interested to see if MVP can show that level of patience in this game. But Mineski, they don't have to care. You got a Mineski, Juggernaut, Slider, and Queen of Pain. If you want to run it U-style lineup, this is it.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid lineup, but I mean, Juggernaut in particular, like, I guess you're right, that's why they pick it, because it kind of fits into the lineup, but normally when you pick a Juggernaut, it's because it can, like, there's potential at least. Well, one of the reasons that the Juggernaut can kill the enemy carry with Omni Slash, and then it's like your carry just solos their carry, and that's never gonna happen in this game. There's like none of the cores on MVP Phoenix are gonna get owned by Omni Slash. Bristleback's probably the most likely you're gonna kill. I mean, you're definitely not gonna kill Pack or Morphling with Omni Slash.
Yeah.
So that part of it's curious to me, but as an overall lineup, yeah, it fits the style of what they're going for.
Well, let's see how it all unfolds. We'll get ourselves underway. Remember, this is a 2-game series, even though we don't have the pins up at the top of the board. It is all about the points. 3 points for the victor if they can go 2-0. Mineski must get 2-0 for the second game to mean anything. Well, MVP, they just have to hold on.
I'm looking at the effigies. Look at Rio's right here by the Radiant base. It says twerk, twerk, twerk. I don't know what's going on here.
Hey, which one? Where? Where? Ping, ping.
What hero even is that?
Twerk, twerk, twerk. It's a Sven, isn't it?
It's a Sven, yeah. It is a Sven.
Wait,
is he twerking?
Why did it select the courier? Select that thing, please. It's because his model is broken. All of these things are broken. I'm guessing he was doing something as like his armor has kind of gone off. So Sven has been dismembered. And the armor has just
Yeah,
moved
his
out.
head's
I really
just
wish Valve
floating
would fix
around.
those, because like one of my effigies is also broken and it is totally boss.
I remember the last time I cast you was D2CL Christmas Magic, and we we had that pause where like everything was bugging out, but this is just regular old Captain's mode.
Oh
Still
yeah.
seeing some visual bugs.
Oh, the effigies have been broken ever since we moved to Reborn. They've just never been fixed. And you would have noticed too the bugs that we had with the all random mode. It was primarily because of the cosmetics, where they haven't all been modified over yet.
Yeah.
So there's only some things which work correctly. I also just see that effigy move. What is this? This morphling effigy from Dubu is amazing. Except I kind of feel like it should say, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" If we're
Yeah,
gonna
does it have like... Looks like it has like glasses that are just like jumping off its face.
It's got something. I've now moved on to Heen's SF. I don't know, is Heen a really good dancer? Because this SF looks like it's dancing. Like... No,
Yeah, Shadow Fiend actually caught in the heat of it often looks like he's dancing. It's like, I think one of his things. Part of his lore,
So,
maybe.
welcome everybody to Michael Flatley's Fiending Dance.
Okay, everyone's back in the game, so maybe we're gonna get a resume sometime soon.
That'd be wonderful. It's probably just MVP trying to find a nice little path out of Korea. They are back in Korea, by the way. Even though they missed their flights going back to Korea from WCA, they have made it home in one piece. Interested to see how tired they are too. There was a bit of sickness going around WCA, so they may also not be in the best shape as players.
Yeah, in the meantime, we were chatting about this before, but Mineski have just, right before this match, they had a match for MDL, which they lost actually against Team Redemption, 2-1. And right after this, they're going to have another match for MDL, which will be against, Signature Trust or FD. Should expect it to win, but it's a busy day for Mineski. It's probably the busiest day they've had in quite a while. Kind of jam-packed with matches, and I don't know, maybe it's in their head that they expected to win their previous match. They went in as favorites. They lost, and I don't know. It could go either way. Maybe they have something to prove now. Hey, we're still top dogs. Or, you know, second match in a row, they go in as like to a lot of people favorites, but actually end up struggling. That could be a big hit for them.
It could be. But they'll have to rise above it and get themselves in the right mindset, because MVP are not going to give them mercy for this. So, what's going to happen first? Slada gets to sit right on top of a dire observer ward, up where the vultures roam. They're actually hoping to de-ward this, because right now, actually, yeah, they're thinking MVP TP'd out aggressively to get some kind of ward around here or around here. It has been the more favorable wards on this new map early on, just for some lane vision. But instead, the decision from Febi was to go a lot further north, and he's still holding on to one of his obs wards. And yeah, that's exactly what they're looking for with the sentry, and they're not going to find it. That's actually a big loss if they can get an obs ward down to block the pull on the bottom lane. It looks like MVP won't be able to get there anytime soon.
In the meantime, it's interesting. I think MP or Solo Rank Warrior is going to be in the mid lane this game, where Cure usually plays.
Cuckoo? Okay. MVP are about to give out both runes if they're not too careful. As they move forward, the spin will start up from the Juggernaut. They wait for the rune. It's going to be the Puck who gets it. He'll quickly jawn away, but who's going to get the first blood? Solar Ink Warrior, he's so low, and it's going to go to Cuckoo. The Illuminates, however, doing their work for MVP as they'll keep on chasing. The Torrent's back off cooldown, but this Bane, okay, he went for the Torrent, but for Rev's already picked up the double kill on this Bristleback. And Cuckoo will just have to run himself away from this.
They figured because they have the Bristleback and they're going to be able to spam those cool stacks that they're going to win the early fights. They don't need to prioritize the runes. As I said, MVP like to win through fights. The only thing I want to say, Solo Rank Warrior MP shouldn't have died actually. Should have been 2-4-0 trade. Because if you notice in his inventory he had a Fairy Fire. And if he had used that Fairy Fire as he was running away, he definitely would have lived. So just new items, you know, maybe forgetting, not used to that's on your mind in the early fights.
Small little slip up. But it could have been amazing for him if he could have stayed in that middle lane, not have to burn 75 gold just to TP back into the lane. Doobie's waiting for a perfect torrent, and it is going to fly. This will allow for a luminate spam. Actually, he's not. He's not actually going to spam out the illusory orb. Throws it, but it's a little bit too late. I thought he was going to try and combo with the torrent, as opposed to just chip down Cuckoo.
Yeah, it's just, I almost feel like part of what Doobie's doing here, other than the actual RAS, is just telling Queen of Pain, hey, I'm here. You need to take that seriously. And if she doesn't, well, she keeps getting hit by Thrones. Well, there's the combo you're talking about, and Silence a bit too late. But I think it's definitely gonna be in Cuckoo's head now that this is something that could possibly kill him going forward in the lane stage.
I'm really surprised that MVP pushed the Morphling to this offlane. Yes, it's got escape mechanisms, but Keeper of the Light combining out with the Bristleback is such a potent combo that I'm surprised that they're happy to run melee versus melee on this top lane. The Slider is currently out CSing Forev. Like, this is a huge problem for him, where Forev could just be zoning out the Juggernaut right now. They're gonna go on Cuckoo. He doesn't actually have Blink. This is another kill. He's gonna pop the Fairy Fire as well as the Ball Charges. Doobu though with the last swing of the sword. He's gonna be killing off that Queen of Pain in the middle lane. But yeah, I don't know about you, man, but QO on this off lane doesn't make as much sense to me. Seems like MVP are crippling their 1 and 3 position.
The way I read it is, I almost feel like this is for the sake of the Bristleback, who he would, like, in terms of laning, he'd do better in this bot lane, but he could die. It's possible for him to die. Whereas Morphling will never die to Juggernaut early on in the end stage.
It's fine if you're a Bristleback and you die in the off lane because you just stack Ancients. And then you flash farm.
Oh yeah, sure. But what you got to bear in mind is MVP historically, like I said, they used to pick this Bristleback a lot, and I think when they picked Bristleback, Cure is actually
Wavefall.
He can wave, should he? What?
He's
just
strength morphing. He pops the Fairy Fire. Unless Raging Potato dive underneath the tower, but the creep wave was there, so Raging Potato's fine. And the Bristleback dies on top lane.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a problem. He doesn't want to be. I mean, so my argument was gonna. Well, bot lane Cure dies.
He walks too close to a level 2 Brain Sap. Doobu's also running very randomly through the Radiant Ancient area and back out the other side.
So my argument is that when MVP picked Bristleback, regardless of what it looks like, it's usually the centerpiece of the draft. Actually, it's the most important hero, and that's the hero they're planning around. So yeah, like there are mechanisms for Bristleback to recover, but they're gonna design the lane stage to try and give Bristleback a good time. That's what I feel like. Although they've switched around now, Q's gone to the top lane. I mean, clearly didn't work out on either side so far.
It might have also been because wow, QO, you just waveformed into that. He has a Mango available here, and he's gonna go for the crush. He gets the extra lucky bash as well. QO strength morphing, but he's out of mana, out of one charge, and out of life. Rior's gonna get the solo kill on this Morphling. He already got gimped on the off lane. This is not the dream for MVP. It's definitely the dream for Mineski as well as the series, because it means potentially we could be looking at a deciding game. The last one, of course, MVP must go 2-0. So they need this first one in the bag.
Yeah, and I think, well, mid lane, their attempts on Cuckoo, they have killed Cuckoo once this game, but other than that, the story of the lane stage so far, MVP struggling in both sides, it's a lot to do with this Kunkka, Dubu's only already been at the mid lane, and when you have one of your supports performing this kind of, like, unusual role, it's obviously going to weaken the two sides. So going forward into the game, we're going to have to, like, ask the question, is winning the mid lane going to be enough of an impact? What's Puck going to do when Puck gets the Blink Dagger? I mean, they're not even necessarily winning it, because the cop's still even on creeps.
Well, Blink Fall from Cuckoo actually dodges the torrent, and he wants to kill over on the Puck. The Dream Coil will drop, so the Queen of Pain will die as Vash tries to find the kill over on solo rank Warrior. He's taken himself another Fairy Fire. He has expended one already, but that Shadow Strike high level is ticking him down. He'll have to trigger the next one, but Jules, a perfect rotation from the Bane. We'll get the easy pick off just above the bottom rune.
So far we've got all the action that I promised, and I don't think it's going to die down. I mean, one thing I will say for MVP is that it's not the most unusual thing to see Cure having a lot of deaths early on in his team, and it's not something that's always stopped them. A lot of the games, like, okay, he gets a bit shut down, whatever, he's used to it. That's why I point to the Bristleback again. If Bristleback's game is fine, then I think going into the mid game MVP could be fine. But at the moment, Mineski are looking a lot better, I would say.
This is still a Morphling who's 0 for 2, and all he's got is a magic wand, boots, and a TP scroll, and we're 6 minutes in on a Morphling. Like, Morphling requires a fair chunk of farm before he really becomes, like, viable.
Yeah, it's not your classic, like, Cure, Tiny, or whatever other, like, Queen of Pain that just, like, gets some levels and fights and gets back into the game. The Morphling actually does need items, that's definitely true.
In the meantime, Mineski's going to get further ahead in items. Raging Potato is starting to get a little bit more money onto him, but he already gets a lot of damage from his early high levels up in Blade Fury. And with the pressure on the bottom tower, yeah, they're going to jump in. They're going on Cuckoo and Torrent as well as, X-Mark spot combo. But is it going to be enough? There's still a lot of heal here. The Shallow Grave's been expended. Chills might be a little bit too early to break free, but Dubu, he's got the Shadow Strike on him. He leaves one Sentry Ward down there to make sure he's not being watched. But funnily enough, the 2 Sentry Wards which do overlap is middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, now that Kunka's level 3, okay, here goes down again. Now that Kunka's level 3 with a level 2 in X, I think that Queen of Pain, if she's alone mid, will die
Rev's in
over
trouble.
and over. And so,
There's no level 6 yet, but it's going to go for the okay. Raging Potato realizes he's not going to get that. He's got too many Cool Spray stacks on him. And Jules, he needs to keep him away, but the Omni Slash, because the camp died, Raging Potato got enough XP that he hit level 6. He wasn't level 6 going into that. And then uses the Omni Slash after he isolated the Bristleback away from the camp as well. That was just perfectly played by Potato.
yeah, so, as I was saying, the one thing that looks, well, every time we look away from top lane, that's just a kill for real.
Phase shifts are also too late here from Puck. He should be dodging these Shadow Strikes from Cuckoo.
Yeah, well, there was something not quite right with the MP early on in this game as well. We said at that first fight at the ruin, just missing the Fairy Fire as well. The point I keep trying to make and getting interrupted because there's constant kills and there's actually a smoke to the top lane is that Kunku with 2 points in X is going to threaten Queen of Pain.
Blink. Like, if he needs to commit the Sonic Wave, he will, but he doesn't have to. The attacks are more than enough. The amplification gave him the vision to start that. But yeah, what was your point before you get interrupted again? Oh, which is now?
Okay, no, I'm going to be interrupted.
Dubu's coming over, the Blink Scream! Dubu dies so quickly, you let the Dream Call go. Wow! Cuckoo actually predicted this perfectly. He understood where the Puck was going to just jump out to. Obviously, he can watch where the orbs fly, and just preemptively threw the Sonic Wave. And that is a double kill going his way, and now 4-2 for the Queen of Pain.
So here's what's important here. If you could actually see what MVP's plan was for the lane stage. Imagine that the side lanes had just been okay and both teams are farming, even if Mineski's got a bit more. Once Kunka gets level 3, suddenly Kunka plus Pack, Queen of Pain can't lane mid. Because once you have level 2x, you're gonna die every time. And so they have to then bring heroes from other lanes, and then MVP get advantage in other things. But the problem in this game for MVP is that Mineski actually just like started killing them in the side lanes way too early, before there was that threat in the mid lane. And then when Mineski had to move heroes to protect the Queen of Pain, it was fine because they're already winning the other lanes. And yeah, Mineski just, I think it's excellent of them that they started their aggression that early, they gained that advantage that early, that this like support Kunka is just looking silly right now. When, okay.
Yeah. Alright, I'm watching it all while you're saying your piece.
Yeah, because it's, I mean, you need to just cycle through the lanes permanently, because right now it feels like any MVP hero could just die at any second.
They're putting themselves in these positions to die. Like, that's the funnier thing in this situation. Like, the Bane hit level 6. Like, he's had that for a while. Goes down the bottom lane, the Puck is underneath the tier 1 tower, forced slightly down by the Juggernaut, but a hero who's got like a lot of escape mechanisms isn't using most of them to get away. Ferev's the only one who could really stand up against Mineski, and even he was baited into an unfavorable position, walking away from camps, walking away from creeps that could soak up the Omni Slash, which was the only thing from Raging Potato which would have saved his life then. The fact that he hit that level 6. QO's having a hard time because he just doesn't have any items on him. He keeps dying, and with the amplification on him, it's making life even harder. So now your supports are leeching levels off the Bristleback, who's just trying to get as much farm as he possibly can, farming up the Ancients, but All of this is now being watched by Mineski. But what are you going to do? Like, you got sentry wards over on the Keeper of the Light, but he can't afford to keep buying these things. It looks like QO, oh, strength morphing up, going to bottle charge as well. Cuckoo's on the chase. And, well, okay, they just get rid of the creep waving your waveform away. So at this point, like, you go from 100%, but one hero can zone out the Morphling. Raging Potato wants to ulti here, but he knows he won't succeed when there's multiple heroes grouped up. So MVP just back up. It's just like, the laning phase went absolutely horrendously for MVP. But I feel like they're a victim of their own choices.
Yep. And there's a rotation onto Solo Rank War in that mid lane.
Yeah.
Bean's grip already up, so he's gonna die.
Jules might be in a little bit of trouble himself. He's gonna, well, he brain saps to back out. QO will now arrive, but the Nightmare and Omni Slash is available. They're grouping up. The Omni Slash actually bounces down to the boot. You've got your spin in 1 second time, so QO, well, he can't commit to anything. So they just lose their Conqueror as well, trying to get a counter kill. And they're jumping in once again onto Forev. Gets in front of him, looking for the extra bash. The Illumin's better flying out, which Jules is going to be able to dodge. And in fact, the Bane is the one to get the kill over on the Bristleback. This is just...
I would say credit to Mineski, because MVP, I'm so used to seeing them like, they're losing, but they fight and fight and fight, and somehow eventually win fights and get back into the game. But this game, Morphling needs items, Kunkka needs levels, they don't have the tools, and so they keep going to the fights, and it's, like you said, it looks a bit ridiculous. Like, they're going into fights they just can't possibly win, and they're losing them over and over.
And this is what I was worried about. Like I said this during the drafting phase, that MVP, that they may not just have the patience to run such a lineup like this, because it's meant to be lane domination, timing push, timing fight. Right, that's what their lineup is really meant to do. The Kunkka is a little odd in that lineup function, but he's kind of like that, meant to be that team fight controller. That was their hope for him. But in this game, they haven't had that patience. They keep getting caught out, which just sends them further and further back in items to help them win the fight. Like, you look for something like a Blink Dagger over on a Puck. This is light years away.
Yeah, and that's after basically dedicating the Kunkka to help the mid lane from the start of the game. That's why, yeah, there's just no positive news for them. I mean, if something's gonna go well, then it's gonna come out of the Bristleback, I feel like, when he finishes an item, he wins a fight, but this is just another rush kill. And Slaughter's Blink actually blinking in.
He's got him. He even gets the extra bash. Queen of Pain will end up kill securing, which is her fashion. And QO wants to run away. The crush actually can be dodged by the waveform. A little bit easier that maneuver. But Omni Slash is off cooldown in 5 seconds time. That's a level 2 Omni Slash. And there's Aegis Immortal of the Juggernaut. So he'll bait for Rev forward if possible for exactly this situation. MVP are getting worked by Mineski so hard. They just know what they can get away with Mineski, and they're pushing the envelope. Getting pick after pick. You don't care what ability you're expending. You just keep MVP in the grave.
This is an absolute slaughter. I'm gonna check
Jules
after this
gonna
game
die.
ends, but
They finally get something back. This could be the first kill in maybe 10 minutes.
yeah, it's... I mean, I was gonna say, Mineski have a greater than 15k lead before 15 minutes. That's something that, like, almost never... That's, like, record-breaking stuff. It's complete stomp at this point.
There's been a couple of games like that. There was one in WCA. I can't remember exactly. It was the Team Liquid versus Wings game. Like, if you want to stomp, check out the replay of that one. Game number 1. Oh my, that was the level 1 Roshan, which didn't go well.
Alright, yeah, I remember that.
But it escalated even higher than that.
Yeah. I don't know, what does it take for MVP to get back into this game? I think it takes Bristleback to, like, be in a fight and not die, and just get lots and lots of stacks and everyone, and somehow end up making lots of kills. But Mineski, like, not really taking their foot off the pedal, so I don't think they're gonna make that opportunity. They're just, like, constantly focused on making kills.
Fiendstrip's gonna catch him, and Juggernaut can just let loose with the Omni Slash. He only wants for Rev, and he's gonna almost take him. He'll have to spin with the phase boots up, and that's gonna be the death of the Bristleback. Remember, he is your primary hope, but then again, the movement speed is too far away. Rior's coming in. Blink, crush, boom. Down you go. Solo rank warrior. At least they managed to. Actually, no, they didn't get anything. The Kunkka died in the dire jungle previously. The puck will survive. That's the only upside right now. But Mineski hold almost the top 5
Dyer's
net
middle
worth
tower
positions.
has fallen.
Yeah, and their poorest hero is like only 200 gold behind the richest on MVP. It's like, it's an absolute like catastrophe. This is like, Slaughter has a Shadow Blade. And he's, I mean, sure, Mineski have been dominating everywhere, but I feel like Rio has been the one doing like the most of the work, the most of the,
Dyer's
from
middle
very
tower
early on,
is
making
under
those solo kills and then getting the blink. And this is probably the player I would, if we're gonna stress one player, I would stress this player in this game.
I'd actually stress them all. I'd also want to say big props to Jules. His movement across this map has been pretty much spot on. QO, the bash, the amplification. Oh my!
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, it's just,
Dyer's middle
it
tower
just
has
hurts. It hurts for all MVP fans in the world. For all Mineski fans, grab yourself another beer. This game is going to get better for you.
It's because Slaughter's a big fish and Morphling's a piece of water, and so obviously Slaughter knows what to do.
This game is actually over. Like right now, this game is over. We're going into our second game with the deciding match. Whoever wins it will be going to the DotaPit LAN finals. There's little to no way MVP get back in this.
Well, it's not in their control at least. It's up to Mineski to throw. It's like, I mean, if Mineski were to like force high ground and like get themselves a wipe twice in a row, that goes a very long way.
See, I would think they could do it,
Under
but
attack.
Kunkka doesn't even have level 6 yet. Like, you still don't even have Ghost Ship available. Okay, now he's got Ghost Ship. Only just got Ghost Ship, losing the experience in the lane. But you're 17 minutes in against a lineup that is just so tanky and so survivable that you just, like, it doesn't matter. Your only upside is the fact that Rio got such an aggressive item in the form of the Shadow Blade. Now he's going to amplify in QO, and they combine with the Orchid of Cuckoo. QO had no chance.
Yeah, it's Puck is finally going to get to blink by the looks of things, unless he gets caught somewhere here in the enemy jungle. And that'll be like the one item that they've completed in their whole team this game.
He's got to come back and defend. Mineski will just push high ground. They have every single ulti up. At least they can get rid of creep waves. That's something that MVP are very efficient at. Juggernaut right now. He's going to spin an attack. He's only got a couple of seconds left on that Aegis, the Immortal. In fact, he's going to get reclaimed. And is actually going to be interrupted in the regeneration. So Juggernaut just going to have to back out just a little bit. Not too far. And, well, okay. Solar Rank Warrior. Making the most out of that Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
You spin forward, you make more copies of Forev. So at least you could tank up the Omni Slash. But then again, you also send the Replicate into Raging Potato, so that Replicate doesn't have a lot of life. But in fact, the Crush gets rid of it, and now they can just Omni if he wants to. There's a lot of heroes to kill off, but they already just take the tower.
has fallen.
That would have actually been fine. Forev should have died if he Omni Slash straight away. And Riol wants to go again. A Blink, double Crush. Fiend's gripping over on the Kunkka. The Orchid will flying it as well. Cuckoo not really chaining up the best of targets. He could have actually hit Forev with that. But either way, the Dream Call is nice and big from Solar Rank Warrior. Juggernaut's taking through most of this, however. And now Omni Slash doesn't bounce up to the Keeper of the Light, but they'll break QO out of this Nightmare. The spin's going to work. They even get a lucky bash out. And that healing ward is actually repairing so much of the damage. Febby's out way too far. MVP, they are basically letting themselves be killed right now. Solar Rank Warrior, he gets Orchided, Nightmare just in case, and then Shadow Wave down. GG is the call. 20 minutes. A quick game is a good game is normally the expression, but in this case, it's not good for MVP. It's only good for Mineski.
Yeah, what an absolute slaughter. Seriously, that's. And I was asking, are Mineski going to bounce back with a slump from losing the previous series in MDL, but they looked hot here, and MVP looked confused. Like, I think you said it right, they're trying a slightly different approach to what they've been doing recently, maybe influenced by WCA, but not quite in their own comfort zone. Game starts poorly for them, and they just could never get their way back in.
They need to find a more stable solution here, Mineski, because right now, MVP, because right now they are one loss away from being eliminated from DotaPit and taking that #1 position. You can see it again right now. These are the points before we started the day's play, where Mineski sit at 8 points. Now they'll move up to 9 points with this win. But they need the full 3 points to actually trump MVP's number 1 position. MVP, who took 3 wins as well as 1 draw. Will they actually have a loss to their name and be knocked off number 1 position? We're going to find out in just a moment. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break.